Well, hello there. Welcome back. So, someone was asking about troubleshooting, and I thought, hey, we should cover that. So, um, I wanted to introduce you as well to CompTIA's blog. So, I'll link to this page down below. Um, but yeah, this is a pretty good resource. And the CompTIA troubleshooting methodology works for most everything. Okay? It's just a general methodology. This is something that's related to A plus and Network plus, but it's something that's good to know. So of course, the first thing we want to do is try and identify the problem. So, and it has here's the CompTIA's troubleshooting methodology: identify the problem, establish theory, test the theory, establish a plan of action, implement the solution, verify full system functionality, and document findings. So, identifying the problem can take a lot of time. So this is where I would say the majority of the time is often spent, because what you're looking at might not be actually the problem. It might just be a symptom. So there's all sorts of information you can get from this. This is from end users. This is from logs. There's a lot of things that can help to identify this. So once you have a pretty good understanding what the problem is, you establish a theory of what might be causing it. So this can be a lot of different angles. I just helped someone fix a monitor that wasn't working. It ended up that the cable in the back was loose. But while we were testing it, we did a couple different things. We looked to see if it was on the proper output display setting. So there are a lot of different things, but establish different theories and then test them, right? Test the theory to determine the cause. Establish a plan of action to implement a solution. So going back to this monitor that we had, there's in the back, you can screw the cable in and it's not screwed in. So one of the things that would actually help is if that was screwed in. It probably wouldn't happen as often going forward. So not only did we tighten it, but we probably should, push it in a little harder. We should have tightened the screws. So some are just reboots. Granted, with a reboot, I don't see that as an actual fix. I see that as kind of a band-aid, because if a reboot fixes it, who's to say it won't come back? So I don't know if you've done enough foot work to make sure that you solve the problem. So if you just have a reboot to fix it, you probably should log it, and if you have to do it over and over again, you need to dig in a little bit harder to try and identify what the problem is. Talking about reboots, I remember helping someone. They had access to really sensitive data, and they had a malware pop up, and actually ransomware. They had ransomware happen. And they're like, oh, this happens all the time. So they put this thing on my system that gets it back. I just have to reboot. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So they get this person working again, but all the access to that sensitive data, hackers are putting ransomware on there. They could also be exfiltrating data. It just drove me crazy. I couldn't believe that was the solution that they had in the past. It was just crazy. Anyway, verify full system functionality and implement preventative measures. Going back to the monitor. So I did verify full system functionality. I didn't screw things in. I am going to have someone do that later. I was there, they grabbed me. It's the life of an IT person, right? We always are there to help, and we do different things. So have someone else tighten the screws. Document your findings. This is a really, I like how the blog person said this. Documentation is a pet peeve of mine. Your documentation needs to be good, but it should be simple. And I like to think about this as doing your best not to curse your former self. If you don't document it well, you're going to forget. especially if it's something that you have to deal with every couple of years. When I first started with system administration, we were identifying how stable systems were by how many years between reboots there were. Now, I strongly encourage people to reboot every patch cycle. So, in some systems, maybe you should reboot every day. But yeah, in the olden days of Unix and the beginning days of Linux, we would pride ourselves in how many years our systems had gone without rebooting. Not as safe anymore. But if that was the case, though, just think if it's been, 6 years since the last reboot, and if when you reboot it, there's maybe some manual tasks. Hopefully that's not the case. You're going to really want that documentation. But yeah, document what you found, what things were unexpected. So maybe going back to the rebooting, if you rebooted something and one of the components didn't auto start like it should have, document, hey, it didn't auto start. This is what I did to try and fix it so it'll auto start next time. If it's a production system, you often can't just reboot it then and there to validate it. I always make people reboot something and not touch it before they move it into prod. But yeah, document your findings so you don't curse your former self. And keep it simple. Start with the easiest stuff. It's amazing. I remember taking an industry standard exam, and I can't give you much detail on it, but it was hands-on. And as we were going through things, I can't remember how many hours we had, but I want to say it was like 3 to get everything done. And it's not a lot, but I wasn't too worried. And I got stuck on something, and I just kept trying to fix it. I spent 2 hours on it to realize it wasn't broken. I had fixed it early on. My check to see if it was working was the problem. Anyway, it got me cranky because that was too much time for me to waste on that test. Anyway, so troubleshooting is of vital importance. And I think the main thing I want to come back and touch on just once more before we leave is coming back to the first three things. So identifying the problem, establishing a theory, and testing the theory. This you're going through over and over again, especially if you refer to it as an onion sometimes. You think you identified the problem, but you test the theory, and you find out that actually something else is causing it. So now you're looking at the next layer of the onion, and you keep going deeper and deeper on the onion. But the cool thing is as you go through these first 3 steps, trying to identify the problem, establish the theory of a probable cause, and test the theory, it's amazing how much you're learning. This done right is some of the best learning you can do. And then, as we jump forward and we start to fix it, the documenting of the findings and keeping things simple is some of the best things you can do to solidify that learning and keep it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. General troubleshooting introductory to CompTIA's blog. And we'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.